Is that music coming through?
And good day, everybody, and how are we doing today, especially on this beautiful first Saturday of January? Happy 6th.
Yes.
So,
Merry Christmas to all my Orthodox friends and Orthodox people out there.
yes, thank you. Thank you. That's actually my mom's side of the family. So, today you're actually here today with Brother Chris and also.
The lady, boy, I can't even talk today. The Gypsy lady, Eva.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, again, those Merry Christmas to actually everybody that's Orthodox.
Yes.
So, yeah, growing up though, for myself though, I actually used to celebrate this because my grandparents used to be alive. They were actually
Um,
straight Orthodox.
well, we are not Orthodox, but we did celebrate Epiphany with a very German tradition where we had donuts.
Ah,
And in three of the donuts were three coins representing the three kings.
that's
And
cool.
whoever found the three coins had good luck all year.
Yes. And what did you get? Did you get it?
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool, especially for traditions, for especially for people. Yeah. So today, what Eve and I were going to be talking about though is who recently passed away just this year. We're going to be talking about some other news within the environment, actually altogether, quote quote environment, and also to do with actually stuff going actually on within the states. So yes. Again, those if you have any questions, feel free to type them in. We would love to do some reading for you. So yeah, it's gonna be a quick and easy show today. Eva's looking for her cards right now, which usually
Oh, did I
happens.
show you what I got for Christmas from a friend? I have to show you.
That is so cool.
Isn't that?
Yeah, it's like so.
And I asked her where she got it, and she says, I don't really remember. And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
apparently,
well, at least your friend thought about you, which is awesome.
I know. And well, she also got me a floor mat, but
Yeah.
it has a fortune teller on it.
Uh,
Sit
and
here.
and we're gonna say good day, Cheryl. Cheryl's actually in. Thanks a lot, Cheryl. Yeah. All right. So again, though, is we're going to be talking about actually to do with recently who recently passed away. We're going to be talking about actually news to do with the environment, with also other stuff going on. Cheryl says that gift looked pretty cool.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. It's it's a gift from a friend, and she really liked it. She said she had to get that for me, so I feel good about it.
Yes, it's like so. Yeah. So how was your New Year's though, Eva?
How's my what?
New Year's.
Extremely quiet. My sister was here. We stayed up until midnight, watched the crystal ball come down, or the big ball in Times Square, wished each other Happy New Year, and went to bed.
Yeah.
And that was about it. Even
Yeah.
the cat looked at us like, "What are you doing up so late?"
That's like our little boy. Our little boy, he looked actually at us and was actually trying to figure out why I was staying up so late. So, but anyway, so for me though, and also with Trevor, we stayed up and watched Epcot live. They actually had roughly three locations, full with music,
Ah,
live music, and one location which was actually like always the UK within the Epcot Pavilion. Though I was playing silent music. So for those that don't know what silent music is, you're listening actually on headphones to
ah.
different radio stations, like DJs basically. So yeah, that's what was going on. Plus also Epcot lot on stuff two fireworks, one at 6:30 and one at midnight.
Ooh,
So
cool.
yeah, Epcot's pretty cool to watch. The reason was because they do each country of basically what time period
Mm.
before they get to the official uh, time of our time zone. But anyway, so
Ah,
let's just get actually on with the topics exactly of who's passed away.
well, Mary Poppins' mother, Glennis
Yes.
John.
Yeah.
um, David Soul,
Yeah.
and that's all I can think of right off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, for Gladys though, again, those for most people though, she was really good. She starred actually on a lot of like TV shows after her time of period with actually Disney for Mary Poppins.
Hmm.
One of her famous songs, so that she actually sang, which was actually "Send in the Clowns."
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So that was one of her great songs. She was actually born 1923 and lived until 2024.
Wow, 99.
Yeah. So that's how old she
Almost
was.
100.
Yeah.
Or she was 100.
Yeah, yeah, she was 100, yes. Um, but yeah, no, she lived a good life.
Yes, she did. Yes,
So,
she did.
and
Uh,
then go ahead.
uh, I forgot what I was going to say. I told you I'm not fully awake today.
It's like so, but yeah, no. So Kendall Glass passed away. She passed away actually on the 4th of June. She was
4th
she,
of June,
yeah,
4th of
it's
January.
January. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. See, it's New Year and trying to get
Just
everything all
checking, just
organized.
checking.
So yeah,
Well, I and David Soul
yeah,
also passed away at the same time, and he was 80.
80 years old. Oh my
80
gosh,
years old. He was Starsky and Hutch. He was Hutch. He was so sexy.
it's like gosh. So you used to drive around with that brown car then? Was it in brown or was it black?
It was red.
It was red. Okay, all
Yes.
right, all right.
Just like the one from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
yeah. Well, I remember actually the vehicles because that's the type of car I started learning to drive in right when I used to drive,
Ah.
which was that same basically model actually of the car. So yeah, those are the people that have actually passed away so far this year.
Well, actually, there's a whole lot more, but
Yeah, but
I don't
those
even recognize the names.
there's supposed to be a young guy though also passed away. I forget his name.
Christian was his last name, or Christian was his first name. Hang
Yeah,
on. I just saw that. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Takes me a minute. Sometimes this goes really fast, and other times it takes forever.
yeah. Well, this is right when he needed Jeopardy music to step in.
Chri- Christian Oliver, who was only 51.
Yeah.
And like I say, there's you go to the one that you just asked for a listing from like Wikipedia, and it's like 20,000 deaths so far, and I'm like, who are these people?
Well,
I don't recognize.
well, look at our New Year's show. Like all those people though that you had like on the screen in front of you, you were like, holy cow.
Well, those I recognized all of those, but again, there was a list that went on and on and on. I mean, like there were dates like whatever date you wanted, there was at least 20 people that had passed on that particular day.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like gosh.
I
So
don't know.
yeah. Now the other news. So this is world news.
Yes.
Right. Basically, an iceberg same size as Manhattan, as the Big Apple, broke off. So anybody though that thought the Titanic actually iceberg was quite big, this is nothing. Like their iceberg in the for the Titanic is a baby iceberg. So again though this iceberg though is the same size actually as Manhattan, if I am saying it the right way, or New York City.
No,
I sh-
Manhattan.
okay, right, broke off, and this was actually in November. It broke off. It's been drifting down towards the equator. They're saying right now though, right where the location is though, is close to Newfoundland, Ontario, like Newfoundland, Canada, um, and over towards Maine, the states up in that area, is right where the location is. Parts of it has fallen off, and it has actually has caused some internet problems. Of what my oldest
Oh, it's
nephew.
called,
Go
go ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead, because you probably looked at the full report better than I did.
Well, it's caused a lot more than just the internet. The part that I picked up on was the fact that the climate people are getting really see what happens when we don't take care of our climate.
So true.
Don't take it, and it's like the deniers are going like, well, that's a normal. It's like, no, that's not normal.
No.
Yes, it is normal to see iceberg. That's what makes icebergs. It's called calving, and that's what caused the Titanic to sink. But
Yeah.
because of climate change and climate warming, they're bigger and bigger and bigger because the ice is getting less stable,
Yeah.
and it's scary.
Yeah. And so that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. Again, those if you have any questions or if you guys would like to get some reading sense, please type them in. We'd love to get to you. So again, though, is if you look at the weather even to date, I know parts of Canada has got really some really bad snow, but not as bad as usual. So I'm located in southern Ontario. You're located up in the Fist area. So again, those that's the way it looks like to me. So reverse. So yeah, like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you're supposed to do it this way. I don't know.
That's like kind of stuff. But yeah, you're over there in Michigan. But again, those down here we haven't had much snow, right?
There was one day where we had enough snow that everything was this beautiful, pristine white, and by the next day it was gone.
Yeah.
They were talking about that on as part of that article too, is the fact that in many, many, many areas around the world on both sides of the equator, and this has been the warmest December ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I don't know which is more scary, the Earth turning on us or turning against us, or the asteroid coming out of the sky.
It's hard to say really big time because like again those like I was just talking with my cousin just a couple days ago, and she's down in California, and it's been colder down there,
Mm.
right? And then I watch people live from Florida, YouTubers, and they say one day it's nice weather, then all of a sudden it goes rain for a couple days, and then it's like a week cold weather down in Florida. And what I mean by cold, though, it goes down to the 40s to 50s.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweatshirt weather or sneaker weather.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what the weather is down there, right? And up here, what are we getting? We're getting gorgeous weather.
Well, there's a cartoon that floats around periodically, and it's 50 degrees in Michigan, and you see them out grilling and doing all kinds of stuff. 50 degrees in Florida, and they got parkas on, and they're like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's all relative. But yeah, climate change it's here. I don't care what anybody says. And like I was telling you, it goes back to when I was in college, which is 1970s, the early 70s. Yeah.
Shalana.
And I mean, we were at that time, they were starting to say, we've got to take care of our world. We've got to start doing something. And they laughed and nobody paid any attention.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're in crisis. And it's like, and it's going to take, as long as it took to get to this point, it's going to take to get back. So
Yeah.
this is not going to happen overnight.
No. No. It's like gosh. So
I'm sorry.
Cheryl's typed in something. Barely cold enough overnight for Blue Mountain to make snow.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of ski resorts. Though they're actually having troubles big time. But yeah, it's so true though, because some ski resorts actually do have snow, some don't. And it's again though it's hard for snow resorts to make enough snow.
Last night on the news, I think it was Marquette, where they have a big snow dog sled thing.
Okay.
Not the Iditarod. This was a different one. And this is the second year in a row that they've had to cancel it because there was no snow or not enough snow, and it would be too hard on the dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder even if Alaska's having theirs. So, right? Because I know that they're more north than what we are.
I don't
So
know. They got the snow.
that's a good question. We don't know if anybody's on, or even anybody that's watching. Type in, let us know exactly is if Alaska does have snow for their dog sleds. So I see you shuffling your cards.
Oh, it's just a nervous habit.
That's all right. It's all right. So yes,
I was
again.
sitting there, then sitting picking my nose.
But yes, so Gendo is, how can I say, years ago, right when I was in elementary school, is right when I started being more in tune with the environment stuff. I used to explain to people it was within 15 years it's going to be way different. People thought also I was nuts,
Mm.
right?
Well, of course, you're talking about, you know, something that if you can't touch it, feel it, whatever, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's interesting. I just ran into someone. We were talking about electric cars, and at the time that Ford made his car, which was in the early 1900s, there were cars out there that were electric, and they were fairly decent.
yeah.
And had that technology been developed, by now we would all be driving electric cars. But Ford made a deal with the devil. I mean, with the oil companies, and well, you saw what happened.
Yeah.
Edison lost it, and there are no electric cars. There were no electric cars. There are some now,
Yes.
but the whole thing stopped because
People thought he was nuts.
yeah.
It's like so.
Well, that was all a PR job. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I love Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Oh, I love that show.
All right, because her actual real grandson does play the grandson actually on the show, and turned
Uh-huh.
around and started blaming Mrs. Brown for the environment, and said, "Let you know your generation did wrong."
Oh, of course.
Mrs. Brown turns around and snaps right actually at the grandson and says, "No, let you know it's not my generation. It's basically the younger generation that's also causing trouble." She goes into full detail on the show what they used to do. And the one thing I remember though is my grandmother always saying to me, whenever they went to the washroom, they would rewash actually what they needed to wipe. So, and it's like, gosh, so the generation nowadays, though, they're still more advanced actually within technology, but still with the technology stuff, what's really going actually on with all that stuff? Where's it going?
Well, all right. Consider this. What they're running electric cars on lithium batteries. What has the mining of lithium done to the environment? So
Yeah,
it's a no-win situation. Uh, uh, well, actually, what we need is the aliens to really step in and say, "Hey, wait, this is what you need to do." But they haven't done it so far, so I'm not holding my breath.
they haven't done it so far, but there's more appearances lately to do with the aliens and UFOs, or
Yes,
that.
there is.
So I'm still
I'm
gonna.
not sure. I'm not sure if there are actually more sightings as opposed to more reporting.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
it's like I said. Well,
I had an experience just probably less. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was within the last month. I'm sure it was something because what happened. Do you want me to tell you, or shall we leave it for another program?
well, if you want to talk about it, yeah, you can talk about it. Because
Okay, I woke up in the night, or no, I hadn't even gone to sleep yet. So I was wide awake, and I turned the lights out, and I looked it would be to the east, and I saw what I thought was a plane. And as I'm looking at it, it was just a spot, and it moved one way, came back, moved the other way, which, okay, it's going different directions, but then it went up and then it went down.
Okay.
And then it came back, got a little bit bigger. I stood watching it, and it just went like, boom, and was
Just
gone.
disappeared. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they say though. Actually, with them though, that they will make appearance, and also they can just disappear actually out of the blue. Right. And it's like,
I
gosh.
don't know what it was. I'm not gonna.
So I'm gonna say something comical. Was it around Christmas Eve?
You're right. No. No, it wasn't Christmas Eve.
It's like, gosh.
Besides, his sled comes up red
Yes. That's
there.
like, but yeah, no. So we're just gonna do a quick reading. Now the quick reading though, what I'd like to do though, for people that don't know, we're gonna just do it for this. For people that don't know, my family though, we're going through a lot of things right now. I'm not gonna go into full detail. Even knows exactly what's going on. Just say, my family needs spiritual energy sent to them. We're gonna see what the cards have to say all together and see exactly if how things are going to turn out. So yeah, I've shared with Eva over the phone of what's gone on. So yeah, and then right when we get back, we're going to talk about Illinois and also to do with February the 8th. So yeah. Again, though, Cheryl, if you're watching right now, you can type in a question since it is the beginning of the new year for yourself.
I just kind of asked for I got my card spread out when you said you're going to do a reading. Of course, I have to be right there with you. And I sometimes when I look at these, I do a little bit of numerology, and it's most interesting. I pulled up a 6, an 8, and then a 2. So you take 6 from 8, and you're left with 2. Think about that. And the final card was the King of Rods, or the King of Wands. But the first card I pulled up was the 6 of Swords, which usually indicates a journey with purpose to me. It's the one way I look at it. And then we have the 8 of Wands, which I shouldn't say I generally look at that card as prayers answered, because the wands are coming back to earth. So they were sent up, prayers coming back. And then there's the 2 of Coins. The 2 of Coins. Oh, I should have pulled it. There's the 6 of, I say wands, swords, 6 of Swords. The 8 of Rods, or Wands. I prefer Wands. And the 2 of Coins, or Pentacles. And the last card was the King of, also the King of Rods. No major arcana. That's interesting. And decisions are going to have to be dealt with. That may go with the February 8th thing too. Decisions are going to have to be made. That's what the 2 of Coins are saying. So for whatever we're dealing with, decisions are going to have to be made about the prayers that have been sent and the journey that needs to be taken to get there. But you'll always have guidance. There will be somebody there to watch you. So that's just kind of a general reading.
Okay. All right. So what I got though is gather your tribe. So this is what I got here. Gather your tribe. Next one though is smudging ceremony. Okay, and the last one though that actually popped out is warrior of the heart. Oops, sorry, right there, warrior of the heart. Is what popped out, right? So it's basically just saying though, it's got this is for everybody else in the family. Messages already know what they're trying to say, but it's basically saying though is from a gather your tribe though, gather actually all together. Let's work actually all as one. Don't we work as separates? Things need to be done the right way. Follow the right path. It's going to help it a lot easier to work actually as one. The next one though again though is which is smudging ceremony, right? We're gonna have to do some big time smudging. We're gonna have to get this negative energy actually out of right where the main location is. We're gonna have to be able to get in there and get clean. Basically, those smudging though is always cleaning off the negative energy, and yeah. So that's one thing that we need to do. Now, warrior of the heart though, it's gonna be more basically heartbreaking for us. But the thing is, we have to stand really strong of what's going to be taking place actually down the road. Time period, what I would say though is probably with actually 3 months, roughly 3 months is what it's basically saying to me. And that's what it says, yeah. So Cheryl has a question here. Well, she did have one. All right, so she's typing actually. Hopefully, gonna be typing back. But yeah, so those are actually really delicate messages actually for my immediate family. But yes, Cheryl, again, those I know that you took away the message, but if you have any questions at all, feel free to type in. If you would like us to be able to just do a general reading, just type in general reading. Or if anybody else is live, please let us know. This will be posted underneath Spotify. So yeah. All right. So Cheryl has typed in. All right. So she wants to know the spirits in her house, the energy in her house, positive or negative. And that's what she's asking.
I'm just trying to look. I'm getting that there's probably both, but I get more of a positive energy. More positive energies, yes. Spirits that walk around. One of the things you might want to try, I use it, I have used it different times. Take a white candle, find the center of the house as best you can. It doesn't have to be exactly, but close. And light the candle, say the Lord's Prayer, or a prayer of protection, whatever you prefer. And when you do that, you just ask that only spirits of the light are allowed to stay. Anything else will be dispelled. Ask for guardians to watch and make sure that this happens, and it will be given to you. And then blow out the candle. Dispel the negative to dispel the negative energies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I was going to say. Also, another good thing that also what I would say to do though is actually smudge the place. All right, so smudge your place actually altogether. Now I know though that you actually have your baby, which is your dog. Your dog will be able to let you know directly of what areas really need to be actually cleansed. All right. And that's really good though. I know right where you are, you're close to the low river, but again though you're more or less on sacred ground, right where your house is, because of the way though that the indigenous way was. But yeah, just basically actually ask your angels and your ancestors to be with you, help you while you're cleansing. And they will actually come forward and be able to help you be able to get whatever negative, since there's not much negative there, but like mostly positive energy. You will be able to get that little bit of negative actually out the door. All right, and the positive will over conquer anything. So yeah, it's like so.
And your dog will help. Dogs and cats and other pets do see things that we don't.
Yeah. So it's like so. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna discuss actually February 8th. I want to
Oh,
see. I want to see
yeah.
Eva. I want to see steam coming from those ears, Eva.
That's it starting.
So
Actually, no. One of the things that just is the most interesting is um, the judges that Trump appointed while he was president. He did so not because they were qualified. In fact, several of them really weren't. But he did appoint them because he wanted people on his side that he could manipulate. And now it comes down to uh, are these people going to stand by their master, or are they going to stand by the Constitution which they are sworn to uphold?
yeah,
And it's going to
strongest
be
thing, strongest thing. Like I said to Eva though, is follow the proper rules, follow the Constitution, right?
that's what it's there for.
Yeah. So that's basically the main thing. So, um, but
But
yeah, go ahead.
no, I got to calm down for a minute.
It's like it's a breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So another state that actually has got on the bandwagon and that's actually put the block on is Illinois. So this one is really good though. So this one here is something like what the third one, if I am
Yes,
correct, right?
yes.
Again,
Uh, Colorado, Maine, and now Illinois.
yep, and
Michigan was,
hopefully soon to be Michigan.
oh, Michigan.
So
Don't hold your breath. And I think Oregon is still pending. I don't think they've made up their mind yet.
okay,
But the whole big thing is he was there at the surrection, at the insurrection, and didn't do anything. And it took him how long before he actually came on and said, and they are using his words against him because he says, well, I spoke of love and peace. And if you listen to the speech that he made before, it was not love and peace.
yeah,
Definitely not. And the thing is, he had said, afterwards, it was a place of I can't remember, but there was no police action, and everything that he said, they showed pictures that no, that wasn't what was happening. And this guy is a nutcase as far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
He's just he's
Well,
a schmuck.
well, even
And if you
today,
understand what a schmuck is,
yes, I do. Yes.
okay.
Well, even to date, like actually, a couple years ago, he's the one that caused all the trouble,
Oh yeah.
right, with the White House. I was like, gosh, so
Well,
he demanded people to go down and actually break in and everything else, right? And it's like, hello, no, you don't ever do that. So
and the words that he used, I mean, like when they was it Sandy Hook where there was the Nazis, was a Nazi supporters were up again, and well, there's good people on both sides and blah blah, and I'm like, what the are you talking about?
yeah,
See, I can do a blink too. And
so
it's like this guy is just it's like, how can I say this? I'm just trying to think. Okay, before he came into power, or before he became president, let me put that way, he experienced the idea of power within his corporation, okay? And once he became president, he had the ultimate power in his hands. Of course, it was tempered by Congress,
yeah,
the legislative branch, the judicial branch, as well as people within the executive branch. Those three were there, and they keep uh, checks and balances on each other. But he upset that whole thing, and he liked that power, and he did not want to give it up. And when he lost, he didn't
That's why he
wasn't able
kept.
to
That's why he
grasp
kept.
it.
That's why he kept on saying, "Oh, the press is lying. The press is lying." No,
Yes,
no.
among other things.
He was the one though that was actually doing all the lying and all the
Yes,
bull
well, he
crap.
still is.
Yeah, yeah,
And he wants that power back, and it is corrupting him even more. And I mean, in an interview, they asked him, "Well, you're going to do this and this and this." Well, he's only going to be a dictator for one day. And I'm going like, "You're going to be a dick for the whole time, a dictator for the whole time."
I love that. I love that. It's like, yeah. So now in the states, though, how many states do they need before everything is usually finalized that somebody cannot run?
Oh, that's a good question.
So,
Think, I think it has to be 2/3 majority,
okay.
but I am not sure how that works, because that's a whole new ball game.
It's like,
We've never had to deal with that before. Of course, we never had to deal with anybody like Trump. And Trump,
yeah.
I don't know if he ever gets back into the White House, there's not going to be a democracy here anymore.
No. No. Well, again, though, so like, I like your prediction, though. Right when he finally loses, where's he running to?
Yeah.
Right? And it's so true, though, because he's going to be losing, like, big time. Um, Now, I was watching actually today on YouTube. It was basically, though, to do with The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
All right, since Biden's right now in power. The Simpsons said in 2024, what are the actual predictions? One of them has come true so far, which is the states against actually, I think it's China. That there has come true so far. They say the next thing though is Biden was supposed to actually pass away, and Lisa Simpson was supposed to get into power. Now, who would be Lisa Simpson? And that's well
Would
known.
that be Harris?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vice
So
president.
yeah. So that's who would be next in power. But the thing though is Biden was supposed to be actually. They said though that Biden actually promised certain things, but also put more the states actually in debt. Now that there is, I'm not too sure directly. The reason was because I am Canadian. I don't follow the American actually deficit or anything like that. I follow more of the Canadian deficit. But yeah,
There's just so much going on that we've never had to deal with before. When a man like Trump running, I don't even like to use former president. It's like, no. Uh, uh it's throwing everything into a tailspin. And uh one of the things I just saw something they were talking about: if a plane goes into a tailspin, you don't get out of it.
yeah,
There's only one way to get out of it, and that's when you slam into the earth. And the commentator came back and said, yes, there are ways to get out of it, but you really have to know what you're doing. And it's like, if we're going into that tailspin, do we have enough people who know what to do to get us out of it? And I don't know.
uh,
I don't know. Uh, I do agree. I don't think, I don't know. I've said this before on the show, and I've said it in other situations. I don't think Trump or Biden will be the candidates.
yeah.
And I've had people say, "No, you're crazy," and I'm like, "Well, then I'm crazy," but that's just my feeling.
Yeah. Well, just think though, like people are saying that to you, right? Though that you're crazy for indicating that, and look at how they used to be years ago with the environment, right? Look what's happened, right? We're more in tune with the spiritual energy than anything, and a lot of people don't realize those. Hey, once you're in tune with the spiritual energy of this world, things things are actually more accurate than anything else. So
You
it's like,
know, like I say, I don't know which is more scary, an environment that something happens, or we get slammed in by that asteroid.
yeah,
There supposedly is an asteroid out there. It's like 2 miles wide or 2 miles something. So if that slams into Earth, and it's going to be a very close call, there ain't gonna be anything left.
yeah, yeah. That's like I said. Is that what the church people are trying to think to do with the end of the world?
That could be.
So
I don't agree, but that could be.
it's like I said, because it's so funny though to hear actually some people like that, like trying to say, okay, this is right when the end of the world's gonna happen, blah blah blah, right? But
Yeah.
like they said that it was supposed to actually happen in the '60s. It was supposed to happen in the '70s, the '80s, and then with the clocks turning like what was it, 2000? It's supposed to be the end of the world. It's like gosh, right?
Oh man, 2000. That one, oh God.
That was hilarious.
We were still having parties at our house for New Year's Eve, okay? And my cousin worked at the local bank, and she was one of the main officers of the bank. And she had to go up there to be there at midnight to make sure it flipped over the way it was supposed to
Yeah,
instead of whatever. And so at midnight, that's where she was at. She wasn't with us to celebrate the new year, the actual new year. And she came back and it's like, well, what happens? Like everything was fine. It's like,
see,
and yeah, the year 2000, everybody thought the world was going to, and then it was 2012 too, because
yeah,
that's the was the Mayan calendar, the Aztec, one of the Mesoamericans, the big round calendar, and it ended on December 12th, 2012. And we were all waiting.
yeah.
Nothing happened. Damn.
So, guys, so going back to actually Trump and Biden, this is from Cheryl. Trump and Biden are way too old.
Oh yeah.
They need to get younger people that are more in like more interested within the states. Um, so yeah,
We need another Obama.
yeah.
Man, if he could run right now, I'd vote for him.
So
No thought, no second thought. I think he did so much good.
yeah,
But that's the kind of people we need.
yeah. It's like so, and it's true though. Yeah, they are old. Get with the younger generation. The younger generation knows exactly which way is kind of good. The only thing that I have to disagree with there is the younger generation doesn't always listen to the older generation. Um,
Well, you just take him out back, smack him up alongside the head with a 2x4, and that'll get their attention.
it's like gosh, so,
Sorry. I'm sorry.
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Hillbilly.
Well,
It's like a.
oh, I do that all the time.
It's like
I, as you know from my emails, I have been discharged from the clinic.
yeah.
I have been cured. And they said, you're ready to go. And I says, that means I have been cured. I went down to the river and I talked to the Reverend, and he laid his hands on me and he called down the Holy Spirit, and I was healed. They were just roaring with laughter. And
It's
I'm
like
like, I hope I didn't offend anyone. No,
it's like,
you're funny.
that's like awesome. But at least you got, like he said to me, you got to ring that bell.
I'm sorry.
So, like you said to me though, that you got to ring that bell.
I got to ring that bell.
So it's
I
like,
know I'm a dingling to begin with, so
it's like
uh,
awesome.
yeah, I know Biden and Trump both are really too old. But you know, the thing is with Biden, he has been in politics for a long,
Long time.
long time.
Yeah,
And he knows the ins and outs and the foibles and the whole thing. And all right, so let go of the power, but become the power behind the power
yeah,
type of a thing. Um, so one thing about Obama, he did listen. He sought advice from older politicians to get a better insight as to you know, to be able to do things, and he listened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although he still a couple of times made up his own mind. So
That's like so yes, it's like well. Anyway, so as we're going to be coming down to a close, just to let you know though that next week though there will not be any show at all, as I will be in Toronto with Trevor. We're going to be doing the Underground City probably actually on Friday and Thursday. So we're going to be walking throughout that Underground City, which is well known to be the largest underground city of North America. And we'll be back actually the following week after. So yes.
So does that mean when you go to the underground city, you're looking for your apartments so when the apocalypse happens?
Possibility, but yes, there is tons of restaurants down there. There's tons of shops down there. So yes,
Ooh,
yeah.
I have heard about it. I have not been there yet.
It's a maze down underneath there. So if you don't follow the proper directions, you can get lost. You can turn yourself around. It starts basically from the waterfront, going all the way up to the Eaton Center on one path, and then it goes all the way to the goes west, east, and also goes up to Nathan Phillips Square. So which is the Toronto City Hall area. So that's where it goes. But again, those we won't be on next week. We'll be actually on the following week after. So for myself, I do say thanks a lot for tuning in, and thank you very much, Eva, for this year.
Yes.
So
again, thank you everyone for all the support last year, and looking forward to a much better year this year.
Yeah. All right, so we'll talk to you guys later.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Be sure to book your readings with Gypsy Lady Eva, book your readings with and Brother Chris. Another great podcast to listen to is Haunting Live Podcast with your host Trevor, interviewing tons of people throughout the world. Listen on any of your podcast providers.
Check out our new